And today, what?
Because welcome to the Ride or Die podcast. I'm Paul.
And I'm Carly.
And we're your hosts.
And today we are joined by someone who is currently in the waiting room. Today our topic is gay rights, gay growing up, gay activism. So based on this, I left it in the air so maybe you could guess who it is. But it also is in fact in the title. Okay, it's Jonathan. Jona, it's Jona.
The artist formerly known as Jonathan.
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Was I introduced? Is that what just happened?
Yeah.
I love that.
I could have done better.
It's okay. Were you horrible, terrible, the worst person alive? Ladies and gentlemen, Jona.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Then you couldn't have done better.
Why don't you start us wherever you want? We left the intro kind of vague. We're talking about gay stuff, period. And who better to ask than the man?
Somebody who has lots of experience in homosexuality. I guess we could start with when was the first time, I don't know, because we all had really different experiences. I was somebody who was very feminine presenting from a very young age and was interested in the arts from a very young age, and you couldn't really you could tell usually with me, people knew before I knew, which was something fun. But I guess when was the first time you guys knew the concept of homosexuality?
I know when.
Do you really?
Wait, I also want to say, I feel like we could get here later, but you know how you just said you were really masculine, so it was obvious? I was feminine. Did I say masculine? You know what I mean?
I was thank you.
No, but it's a double, I feel like it's a double standard with that.
It is.
Because I wore a hat. Come on.
You wear a hat, you get called a tomboy.
Exactly, tomboy.
We do drama club, we're little fags.
We're little fags. So,
yes, though, actually.
Mm-hmm.
When was the first time you knew what it was, Carly?
Oh, I don't remember when I knew exactly, but I remember when I found out what a lesbian is, and that was when that's when Kaylin. I was gonna say that's when Kaylin and me, we were in aftercare, and I remember we were in the hallway at Frost Elementary, and she was explaining it to me, and I was like, that seems cool, really fun.
You're I love that personally.
I'm a great concept.
I hadn't even considered that before.
Wait, so Kaylin taught me what that was when I was at a young age, and then after we were playing with Barbies with younger kids, in aftercare, and we explained being gay to them, and this guy that worked there, he yelled at us and said it was inappropriate, but now he's dead.
Oh.
Woo! Oh. Guy, rot!
That's that voodoo.
He was in a wheelchair.
Well,
you can't tell people in a wheelchair to rot, Paul.
Well, I can tell homophobic people to rot, and I can separate.
Okay.
They outweigh each other, I think, personally.
Okay.
What about you, Paul?
My first, I don't know, because I feel it was something I tried to ignore,
Yeah.
Gay shit, miss me with that. My parents have really good friends from college era, post-grad era, lesbians, and they live in Australia now, which kind of far, but shout out Karen and Gina, super cool.
Oh,
my first gay influences, first gay icons even. Yeah, beyond that, gay, I feel it was just a concept I didn't really touch with. But I do remember the very first bisexual person I met, which I'm not bisexual, but we some people come out in layers. Some people are.
And we both did. We both opened the first chapter, and then we moved to chapter 3 and 4 eventually.
But yeah, helping me as a bi person on Big Brother 12, actually, the very first bi.
Really?
Named Annie, really? And she was
saboteur.
And then I was like, what does bisexual mean? And my parents were like, she likes boys and girls. And I was like, Okay, fierce.
We're like, I love that.
Ever since then, it's been history. So Jonah, you tell us your gay story.
Okay, so I was called it a lot before I knew what it was.
Right.
Um,
No, that's
so
not.
So fucked.
yeah, so I would be like I remember the first time I think I ever got called gay was when I was at Lakeview when I was like 5 or 6, which was a summer camp. It was actually a sports camp, which you would think for somebody who has been like dancing around their house since they were like 2 or 3 years old, my parents wouldn't have been like, let's send him to like a sporty day camp, but they did, and I can't blame them for it. It is what it is.
Worth a shot.
But I remember going home and asking my parents and being like, what does gay mean? And they were like, oh, being gay means happy. So I was like, oh, okay, so people are just saying I'm happy, like, cute. That's fine. But then I remember being like, let me just I'll take it off my chest. Then I don't know why they're so angry when they're calling me happy, but I guess maybe they're just sad or something inside. But when I was like
You were
9
right.
or something,
You were right.
I was right. When I was 9, I was watching So You Think You Can Dance, which is very gay of me as a 9-year-old. And then I remember it was 2 guys who were auditioning together, and they were dancing ballroom together. And they were talking, and they were like, I'm straight and I'm gay. And I was like, so and so I was like, okay, maybe it has like another meaning. So I think at this point I had a computer, so I think I Googled it. And I remember going to my mom and being like, I learned 2 things. And my mom was like, okay. I was like, I know what sex means and I know what being gay means. And she was like, okay, what does sex mean? And I was like, when 2 people sleep in the same bed together. And she was like, close, but there's a little bit more to that. And you can figure that out later on. We'll talk about that later on. And she's like, what's gay? And I was like, when 2 boys like each other. And she's like, yeah, it is. She's like, I was like, and then that was it. That was me finally figuring it out. So I mean, it was good to finally learn, because now I knew when people were saying things to me, I was like, oh, like talking kind of silly to me, talking kind of funny to me. So that was good to find out. And then it just went downhill from there. We got the faggot, we got the gay, we got the, homo, we got it all in our purse on our way to Hammersholt. I wish I had a purse on my way to, like, fucking in Hammersholt. That would have been so
No,
much
you don't. People would have kicked you.
I already got kicked. Can I tell you,
smarter.
I don't get why, like, everybody always talk, like, all the, gay people are always like, oh, I used to get beat up. I don't know why I didn't get beat up in middle school, because I was, like, not the tallest one. I wasn't as tall as I am now. And for all you viewers out there and, like, potential suitors, I'm 6'1". But I was, like average compared to everybody. So they could have beat me up. But then once I was, like, 13, I grew, like, 5 or 6 inches in 1 year. So I was taller than, like, fucking everybody. But yeah, I never got beat up. I just got a lot of people saying things to me. Also because I snitched a lot. I was like the snitch in
But
Hammersholt.
if you didn't, like,
Yeah, for you it was a self-defense thing. I think
you had to snitch.
My dad used to tell me all the time, like, especially I remember in middle school, he would be like, listen, I know, like, I'm cool with you telling on them, but if you punch one of them, just punch one of them in the face, everybody will stop bothering you. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I'm a lover, not a fighter. So I never did. But, like,
you really
now
should.
I kind of wish I did, because I'm 18 and I can't punch somebody now without getting an assault charge. So it'd be cool to be able to, I should have punched somebody. And then I would have just gotten suspended for, like, a couple days.
Worth
it. But you were a pacifist. I think it says a lot that if I can give you this award right now for everyone on the podcast as the gayest person in the grade, I think, can we agree? Is that fair? Like, does that?
Let me.
It's pretty cool.
I feel like I can't say other people right now, but
I was gonna say I'm not gonna
okay.
name names, but there's some of them who I'd say maybe they don't know it yet, but then they're gonna be. But no, at the time, I think I was a pioneer. I was, I was very outwardly queer before I even knew I was queer, which is another point of contention that we could talk about, was other people getting to dictate my sexuality before I had even figured it out.
Oh, yeah. I know that song.
So, I think I was definitely, like, probably the queerest in the high school when we were in the high school. And I don't mind that. Who was it, you or Jake, or maybe it was somebody else in our grade or something at some point, who had told me that they were really grateful that I was there so that they couldn't get focused on?
Probably Jake.
Probably Jake.
Yeah, I wouldn't even verbalize that.
Yeah, he was like, thank you for taking the blows for everybody, and it's okay. That's okay.
You were
No, it's
flag.
not.
I feel like you were like the Goody Proctor, like you were like the witch hunt. Your name was on everyone's lips, and I
And
think
that's why I think it's so funny. Like, I always think about how, like, so many people in our grade know who I am, and y'all know I don't know anybody from our grade at all. And it's because I was just walking around with my little crop tops and my little, like, XYZ, being, like, a whole mess.
being yourself,
Being
and
myself.
guys for it. Isn't that wild? Like Jersey, you can say a lot about where we are. I don't want to say politically, but like socially and like in terms of like respecting each other for our differences. And our town is very diverse ethnically, and we still have ways to go there for being more actively anti-racist. But I feel like we have like some deep homophobia and transphobia like ingrained into our culture. And I don't know if it's a wider Jersey thing. It's definitely a country thing, but our school was fierce in a bad way.
They were fierce, honey. They were fierce. I was talking to one of our friends' younger sisters. I don't know if I want to name names because I don't know if they're gonna see this or not. But I was talking to her and she was like, I'm still in the high school, and apparently like the kids in the high school are like a lot more politically charged now than what they were back then. Like apparently there's like a whole sea of like Trumpers. You know, we would see like one person with a hat walking around the school and we'd be like, but apparently there's like a whole huge group of them now that come out and they're just like, you know, blah, 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 blah. So I think also,
Oh my God.
I know it's so scary. Like if I had to like, listen, I was already not in school very much as it was, but like y'all would not see me at all, if that was the case today.
I think a lot of people we've noticed. I don't know if I should name the name. I think we
got it just from that.
That's it. For the viewers at home, there was a historical moment in our town's history during the 6-month period of quarantine.
Should I edit it in the picture?
If you want. Yeah, that's cool, I think. We'll name it the Battle of Kayla Benez, or the Battle of Bela Kenez.
The post in question.
It was just a simple Instagram post. Her and her boyfriend, Michael Patilla. I guess I'll name him.
We're calling him out. Come on. Government names.
I'm just informing the viewers.
I'm editing in the picture.
Okay, and she just posted a picture. It was her and him kissing on July 4th, captioned Trump 2020, American flag. And comments pour in nonstop, quickly beating the comment like ratio. And I've never seen the left-leaning demographic of East Brunswick, our town, and our grade demographic like that politically active and vocal. And there was some retaliation later, but I feel like before that, I had never really seen people with these political views like voicing them that actively in town. And I feel like we've had conservatives that are outspoken, but we haven't really had this movement. And Trump has done a lot of things for our country, but I really think he's kind of accelerated people with opposing views, like for better or for worse, you know?
Absolutely. Did you have, because y'all were friends with more like, not like normal people in high school, like
bad word, normal, but yeah.
Bad word.
You got the point across though.
Did you have friends who would like say really awkward, terrible things around you and you just had to like, especially like early on before you had come out and stuff, and you just had to keep like your mouth closed?
I don't remember, but probably.
Probably.
Yeah, I think my biggest thing, like I could like fit in anywhere and be friends with anyone, but like being on the cross country team and like of all the sports, that's obviously the gayest, but that also means there's room for that toxic masculinity of we still have to live up to hegemonic masculinity and make sure to prove ourselves as masculine, and that is often conflated with straight. And even like the slightest hint that someone was gay was like, you would, I don't want to say you'd be the laughing stock, but you would get like othered and like looked at, treated differently. Like I found out some guy like sucked dick and another guy's dick, and I was like, oh, that's like cool, but I had to like keep face. Because then if I My thing was, I always, and I regret this in some ways, but like for me, I would always like step back and like uninvolve myself from those conversations to like not put a target on my back. Like,
It's like you're protecting yourself. You shouldn't feel
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, I mean it's different because like most of them were terrible. So if you were to speak up, like that would be horrible. So I think in some situations it's better to just
Yeah.
not.
and it just because it draws the attention to you, and it's kind of like that witch
Yeah.
hunt thing where it's like if you even so much as speak in like out of support, that's for someone who's gay, it's like, oh, why are you so defensive about them? Are you
And I
also
don't think anyone was out on the team.
no, maybe one or two people, but like
Oh.
not really.
I remember being like 12 and being friends with this kid who was a boy, and we would like sit by each other in math class. And I think I've talked about this with you guys before, but I want to tell it for the purpose of the pod. That we were like, it was fine, everything. We'd sit by each other every day, we'd talk, and then there was one day where he sat on the other side of the class, and I was like, why? So I walk over to him and I'm like, hey, like, is something wrong? And he basically said, I can't be friends with you anymore. Like, people are starting to ask if I'm gay and like saying like all this weird stuff. And I was like, okay, like you're lost, like it is what it is. But that's that, like, even in
Yeah, that's gross.
middle school, like I don't get the whole thing of like being 11 and 12 and then questioning other people's sexuality when we shouldn't even be engaging really in sexual activity anyways.
Exactly. No one has a sexuality. We're just playing.
I'm literally, when I was like, if I don't even know the person that I was at 12. I was a figment of my own imagination. Like I was simply just a walking body that was implemented with things from my parents. Like I wasn't a person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to say that my parents made me like wear my Born This Way shirt and my Nicki Minaj shirt every day to school, but like, you know what I mean? Where I felt like I wasn't like a fully formed human being where I would know. You know what I mean? There's some people, there's some gay people who are like, I've known since I was 3. I've known since I was 4. I didn't know until I was like 13 or 14. And originally, I did think I was bi. That was like, it wasn't just like a me hiding it. Like, I actually thought I still liked girls, and then I was like, oh, like,
Yeah, my thing growing up, like it's like since from before I even remember, like I would be having friends that were girls, like Carly. I'm maybe the first among them, I think, and like I would be calling them
The
my
girl
girl,
in question.
and Carly, like we would like call each other like girlfriend and boyfriend. We would like even kiss on the lips, but it would be just a peck. And then we had other boyfriends and girlfriends like outside of each other. Like I don't know if we ended things
come
formally.
on, polyamory, come on.
But it's like we're still dating.
Yeah. But it's so weird. Like, where did we get that idea? We're like 4 and we're 3. Date the concept of dating someone or having romantic
Yeah.
feelings. Where did that come from?
It's just societal. I think
Media,
that,
yeah.
yeah.
Media. I don't know if parents like.
I was
Even
gonna say parents, like
comments.
I swear to God, heterosexual parents, if they see like a boy and a girl like talking to each other, they're like, "Oh my God, we have to set up a date for them. We have to set up a date. Oh my God, they're gonna get married one day." And it's like,
Our
no,
parents were talking about that. Me and Paul's parents.
I feel like that was like looming over my head for like the first like third half of my life, or like half of my life. Like my
It
parents
still is.
get married to Carly, and like when I first came out as bi, I was like, maybe I'll still get married to Carly. Who knows?
and who knows?
No,
It
maybe.
could still happen. It could still happen.
It still
Never
could.
say never.
Okay?
Listen, I have my little marriage pact with Christina and like honestly like 15 other people. There's so many people who are like, oh my God, if I can't find anybody, like, please, can we get married?
I don't like the marriage pact thing. It kind of makes me mad.
I have one with Kaylin, but I feel like I also have like others too, and I think
I don't think I have one because I think it's a stupid concept. But
and
like,
I'm glad you do, because I think I got it from How I Met Your Mother. I think it was on Friends too, but like, why is that
probably.
even a thing? Like, do you have to like marry someone that's your good friend and like make this pact if you don't find someone else? Like, why don't you just focus on yourself? If you find someone, you do, and if not, cross that bridge when you get to it if you want the economic benefits. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. When I turn 40, I'm gonna get like, if I make it, I'm gonna get like 20 texts from like all these people from unsaved numbers. Gonna be like, so it's that time, how are you? Where are you at right now? And I'm gonna be like,
You might have
well,
to.
I don't know where I'm gonna be at that point, so we'll figure it out when we get there.
I had something I wanted to say before, but it was for a while ago, so now it's just gone.
You can bring it up.
No, I don't remember it.
Oh, can I say something then?
Yeah.
Just on the topic of marriage, and that's surprisingly something that's coming under fire again. Like it's on the GOP platform this year.
Oh yeah.
With the Supreme Court decision that it should be legal everywhere. I don't care what your religious beliefs on marriage are. If you think it's between a man and a woman, cool vibe. If you don't, cool, also vibe. But at this point, it's a purely legal and economic thing. And if I want to get married and get some fucking tax benefits, let me do that and mind your own business. I don't want to get married in your gross little church anyways. But if I did, why does it matter to you?
I think it is just, I agree that it's just for legal reasons. I think that, I haven't thought about marriage. I think if I were to get married, it would definitely be for like a trophy husband. Like I would be the trophy husband or something like that. But I do like believe that, like, I don't know why it's so stupid to me that this is still a point of contention, especially because like,
yeah, we were done with this.
Yeah, I'm a little sick of it. Like, I'm kind of just like, oh my God, like, can these old white gays, like, just get married and, like, leave us alone and, like, shut us up? Also, wait, real quick, I just want to make a little side note. Do you remember when there was a whole thing with the Proud Boys and then it was just, like, tons and tons of, like, white gay men, like, co-opting that hashtag? And did y'all hear about that?
Yeah, do you want to just recap it for the viewers and Carly?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically this was after the whole Trump saying, like, Proud Boys, like, step up or step down.
Oh, I do remember this.
Yeah, and then it was a bunch of like gay men, but specifically white gay men, like flooding the hashtag with pictures of them and their significant others. I don't know why. That didn't really sit right with my spirit because you're a white man before you're a gay man at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're still a white man co-opting the Proud Boys hashtag, I don't know if you could be a gay Nazi any day, baby. So it was. I mean, there's what's his name, Milo Yiannopoulos.
You got it, yeah.
So, that didn't sit right with my spirit. And I saw all these people being like, yes, gay people, like, co-opting, like, this, like, white supremacists. And I was like, yes, but it's white gays. I digress. I support gay marriage, and I also support gay divorce.
Yeah,
I support all of the above.
Y'all want to protect the sanctity of marriage? Why don't you ban divorces next?
Well, that's the pick and choose of it all, because these little Christians don't want us to, get married, but then they're getting divorced out the wazoo, which is also a sin. I mean, there's so many sins that, like, we don't have to go in bashing religion. I don't know how, the Big Brother fans are going to feel about that. Big Brother, that's God. So, you know what I mean? But
Ken said this is a Christian season.
Yeah, this woman's a Christian lady, let me just say.
Is it really? Who?
Julie Chen, she's the host.
Moonves, we can have a separate talk about her, but she loves God.
Does she love us?
Now that she's added her last name from her husband. So her husband, the former CBS president, who's former president and got fired for sexual assault allegations, but she's claiming that second last name after the hyphen and God as well. So
well, Julie Chen. I'll have to do my research on that a little bit more. I'm not gonna slander somebody that's your queen. So, but that's a
problematic queen.
Problematic queen.
My queen. She's just the host of Big Brother.
Okay, we'll talk about that after the video.
I was gonna say, Carly, your viewership is about to go.
No, Big Brother fans are not like fangirling about Julie Chen.
Yeah, no. Real talk, like no one idolizes her. I think
okay.
I think Jeff Probst is like in America the ideal host figure, and I think Big Brother Canada, Arisa Cox, I think is her name. People love her. She's a queen, but Julie Chen, she's Chembot. My audio just glitched. Yeah, this was.
We're good.
Trying to tangent. So if you want to take us back, I don't know if you.
Carly, how do you feel about gay marriage?
I'm like, I don't love it. No, personally. I probably will want to get married. I don't know, but I don't think it should matter, obviously. But I don't think I'm gonna want a traditional marriage anyway. Personally.
No,
but I don't know.
For wives.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, what am I gonna do? Get married in church? I don't know. Probably not. No.
Yeah, probably not. Well, you wouldn't either way be getting married in temple. Do gay marriages happen in temple? Like, if I were to UBHS, or not UBHS, but UBJC, and be like, hey, besties, like, I want to get married to, you
I
know,
think you can, probably.
my hot 6'4" tattooed they them rich husband that I'm gonna have. I'm hoping that that'll all go well. Oh, you know what? I want to okay, because I see we only have like 9 minutes remaining. I want to bring this up because I talked about it a little bit at the beginning. But I was thinking about this going into this. When I was getting like the brunt of like my bullying and stuff and people coming after me or whatever, it did really kind of strip me of, I guess not my innocence. That's like such a huge word to use, but
No, it probably did.
it stripped me of being able to figure things out on my own, on like
Yeah.
my own way, my own process, to be able to just process things normally. And I think that that's a really unique experience to have for young gay children who are like outwardly, woo, but like I you like I said, we don't know really, or maybe I wasn't having like crazy sexual feelings like that when I was like 11 or 12. So for somebody to come in to say, oh, you're this, you're that, like you have to be this, you have to be that, I didn't really, it made me have to think about it, even though like I remember being 11 and 12 and sitting in my bed and being like, well, am I, they're saying it so much, like, am I? And still being like, but also I don't know, like I really truly do not know. Like I wish I could tell these people, like I said no because I was always on the defense. Like even if you asked me if I was gay, I took it as like you're still trying to antagonize me some way, because, which I don't know if that was always the thing. Who knows, I could have had some really sweet girl who just wanted to know and become my hag, and I was like, fuck you for asking, like how dare you. But like it still to me felt like people were trying to, it was just getting in my business. Why was everybody so obsessed with my
exactly.
business?
It is antagonizing you if you're like little and they're asking you that, like, because why are you asking me that? We're just born at that point. Like no one has a sexuality. You're not gonna ask someone if they're straight. Like,
yeah, exactly. And especially like when you're not even like friends, and like for just to randomly ask people.
Yeah, it is like, I don't like it.
I had one girl, while we're name dropping, Alicia Guilinazo. I don't know if you're out there. I don't know what
I saw she's moving. I have her on Facebook. She is in the process of moving.
Well, girl, bye. Because I remember in 8th grade, you came up to me and you were like, you're gay. And I was like, what? And like, obviously, I hadn't even thought about that yet. I hadn't even watched gay porn yet, so I really didn't know Alicia. And then you said you're gay, and I was like, no, I'm not. And you were like, oh, well, you're at least bi. And I was like,
at least I don't like that either.
Let me thank you for introducing that like bi level of the closet as like an extra layer of cover. I appreciate that, but
I think she's a queen. I think that was a serve, to be honest. Like, I think it's bad that she did that, but that's kind of a serve that she predicted it. Like, I want to go to her and like ask her what she think. We're like, when I'm gonna die. You know what I mean? Because clearly she knows something that we don't. She imagine she was like, you look back on her Facebook like 3 years ago, and she's writing like, there will be a pandemic in 2020. everybody will have to wear a mask. Like, I think she might be an oracle. So that makes me happy. But also, what's fun about now is that there's so many people who have co-opted, I guess, queer fashion and queer aesthetics and queer everything, that now you actually have to ask people like, are you straight? Because like, I've had that happen before, where I've met somebody like at a function or something, and I think they're like one of the dolls or one of the girls or, one of that. And then we're talking and they're like, my girlfriend. I go, girlfriend?
Honestly, I don't know if this is anyone else feels this a little bit. It might be more of a Jonathan thing, because like Carly, like you mentioned before, like it's harder to be like a gay passing guy than it could be to be like a butch lesbian. If I'm like, I think that's the proper term, butch. Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, seeing so many men now, straight men, who are like comfortable dressing like all flamboyantly, or like just like that queer thing, it kind of like pisses me off, because like
I hate it.
If I were to have dressed that growing up, or even like now, I have to get worried about being hate crimed. And Jonathan, you were like, I feel like you've genuinely like talked about, like, I don't know if you've been hate crimed.
I have. I've been properly hate crimed twice. Once when I was at my first school, Kane, and then once when I was just walking home, or walking to one of my friends' dorms in New Brunswick. My thought process is this. I think that, it's important to break down masculinity, and I think it's important to be able to do that. And I would love to reach a time where it's truly like that. I'm sure that the guys, as it is, as if they're dressing flamboyantly, they're getting enough flack from their straight friends or their straight family or whoever the fuck is like coming after them like that. But I think like I do think it's a little. It strips a little bit of an identity, but also I want to say like I support it. I think either way, there's a difference between the presenting if you're a gay male or if you're presenting if you're a woman who's a lesbian. Just because we like to be flamboyant, more people, you're going to notice somebody who's wearing, a colorful ass shirt and some like flared pants instead of somebody who's wearing like, a flannel and some boot cut pants. You're going to be like, oh, that guy like that. And then you're not really even going to notice her. Like if there's the two of them are standing next to each other. So that's where I think a lot of it comes from, is people, which also roots back down to, I think, misogyny in a way, because it's like, and the issue of masculinity, because it's like, why can this person can't dress like that? Like, this is fine because you're not trying to look like a woman, you're trying to look like a man, which is better for us because men rule and stuff like that. So I think there's a difference in that sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't like, because I feel like I could wear whatever I want. And I'm not going to get in trouble. I can do whatever I want. You guys wear a crop top.
Boom. Boom.
No, it's not.
It's not fair in that aspect, but at the same time, as like lesbians have it harder because they're subject to like men's fetishization.
Absolutely.
Everything that comes with like being a woman that already puts you in a position where you're subjugated to men.
Especially if you're a woman that likes women who is conventionally more female or like femme presenting, they tend to have more of those fetishizations from men because they look more like how they want them to look, or and then there's this whole thing where there's like men who are attracted to more like studs and more like lesbians who look more masculine, and there's like this whole little discourse that happens. I think everybody should just be left alone and honestly dress how you want to dress. And if you get, hate crimes, we will be there for you to rise up and give you a hug at the end. Because it's fun. It's fun to express yourself, and it's fun to be gay, and it's fun to be a lesbian. I guess it's fun to be straight too. I wouldn't know.
And I think it's okay. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, we have a minute left, but I remember what I want to say before. I don't like that it's called straight because it makes it seem like it's the right thing to do.
The word comes from, real quick, gay people in gay culture. Maybe like the 60s, I'm like roughly guesstimating, in the city, where like you would go out and live your little gay life in the city, but then it's like at the end of the day, some people end up going straight, marrying a girl, and like going back to that normal nuclear family.
Wow.
So it does come from gay people. And at this point, it's kind of unfortunate that straight is perceived as normal, especially like the wording versus gay. But maybe the problem is not normalizing gay enough. I don't know.
Let's normalize gay and ostracize straight. Let's call them like wiggly, or like instead of like heterosexual, let's call them weirdos.
Okay. But actually, it shouldn't be called straight. Mm-hmm. That sounds like you're in check. To me, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, when even in slang, it's like, oh, you're straight, like, oh, you're good. Yeah.
I don't like it.
Maybe we gotta charge the term more and like make straight a bad thing. Like they made going straight like the lame thing to do, because it is pretty lame at this point. If you're straight in 2020, come on.
No, it's boring. So how do we close this out?
Oh, it'll do it for us.
Oh, okay. All right, well, I loved being on here. Thank you so much for letting me join y'all.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for coming.
I wish this could have been longer. I was having a ball.
Yeah, it was a good old-fashioned kiki, as we said.